Welcome back to our channel, guys, and thank you very much for your continued support. Yesterday, Stanley Livondo set Moses Kuria against William Ruto. And the truth of the matter is that William Ruto must be very hungry man with Moses Kuria. A prayer rally that was intended to be a prayer session turned political, and far off, it came as an opportunity to spill the beans. I know most of us have spoken about the death claim by Stanley Livondo that there were some dark forces or powerful government forces that wanted to assassinate President Uhuru Kenyatta. And in this video, I want us to look at some few reactions that have been seen, and then we will analyze about the next move after this. In the evening, I think before Stanley Livondo made that statement, something was out, because if you look at the way he was actually invited to speak in that event, and the MC Kabando, who is seeking the Nyeri senator seat, was very categorical that he is under instructions from Moses Kuria, and he was taking charge of the event on who was going to speak. Then after that statement, I saw Kanini Kega saying in his Twitter handle, and I just want to read it here, saying, yes, kuna kaukweli hapo. That is Kanini Kega. William Ruto's daughter, June Ruto, who recently was on the spot over some nepotism because he was appointed ambassador, he said, once you choose politics, you immediately become vulnerable, especially when you disagree with bosses. No state can silence or tolerate on such Livondo's allegations, but again, God knows the facts. A week ago, I was told, but I remain head up. More will come, but what's important, Hustler Nation is on board. So according to her, June Ruto, is that this was an attack on Hustler Nation. Then after that, we also saw, I think, late in the night, that was Saturday night, Dennis Itumbi was calling on DCI to apprehend Livondo and record a statement. So guys, one thing I want to believe, I checked at Moses Kuria's Facebook page this morning. And the truth of the matter is, yesterday after that statement, late in the night, William Ruto might have put a call to Moses Kuria and asked Moses Kuria what exactly is going on, why that statement, because I think to his interest, he would love to know whether this was just something was a hearsay from his own, Livondo just spoke it as himself, or someone else had sent Livondo. But in my own assessment, having looked at that video again, one thing I can agree to is that Livondo was a messenger. Someone was sending that message. Then Moses Kuria today responded, and he posted in his Facebook post, he said this: as the convener of the Thanksgiving prayer in Thika Stadium, in Thika, I may not be responsible for what speakers said, but it was my meeting and I have to take the responsibility. I have today requested DCI boss George Kinoti to arrest Stanley Livondo following his reckless statement. Since Livondo made that statement, he has not been seen. So guys, before we delve deep, there are two incidences that have been, really people have been talking about them lately after Stanley Livondo made this statement. So I want us to look at those two incidences where President Uhuru's flight was aborted. I want us to look at those two. Then I will tell you the objective of Livondo making that statement. But before I do that, make sure you subscribe to our channel and also click the notification bell. When we publish a video, you'll be notified. Back in 2015, President Uhuru Kenyatta was to fly to US, Los Angeles. But the flight was from Nairobi, then go to Dubai, then pick a commercial flight to Los Angeles. But something happened. His flight was aborted midway past Ethiopia. So according to what was reported in media, is that the flight had a blunder, took a wrong route, and was getting to Yemen airspace. And by that time, the Yemen had been going through some civil war, and the place was not a safe space. So, according to that statement, is that the statement that was given to the media was that actually that was done when Uhuru Kenyatta was at the Eritrean airspace. So, but later on it came to emerge that the information to even Uhuru to revert back to the airport was reached before the aeroplane even reached the Eritrean airspace. So I read this article here. It's yes. Could the president's jet have developed mechanical problems mid-air, forcing the crew to turn back? Why did it take State House 12 hours to tell the country the trip had backfired? Okay, I think according to this is that after that happened, the country was told 12 hours later. Fine, would it be necessary to say earlier? And if it was to be said, Kenyans maybe would have demanded explanation. And then there is this other part that is saying that even more intriguing, did the flight crew of the president jet actually alert the tower at JKA of a technical problem just before landing? But this is what it says. Sources at JKA, this is an article by The Standard, including incapable aviation sources close to the military, intimated to the Nairobian that Uhuru's plane was forced to turn back due to a mechanical hitch. That is it. So it was really not made public because I think perhaps there will be an inquiry. Maybe the inquiry was set up and it was done, and so it came out with this report. And this was in 2015, even way back before the second term. Then in 2018, Uhuru and Raila were in Kisumu. They flew to Kisumu to attend the funeral, the burial of Maurice Odhiambo, who was Uhuru Kenyatta's classmate in St. Mary's here in Nairobi, and was I think the chairman, the director of National Youth Service or something, not youth service, but was working in the government. Let me get it. Yes. So after they left Koru for the burial, they went to Kisumu. Then just the moment the plane was even already had been started, Raila pulled Uhuru aside. It was around 5. Then he whispered something to him. Then immediately things changed. They took a car and went directly to a beach, Dunga Beach, where they ate fish. Then after that, they went and visited the port. At the port, they were joined by Tuju and Ching Owili, who is the deputy governor in Kisumu. Then the chief of protocol in Kisumu by then, Mr. Madanje, later told the media that the decision for Uhuru to go and eat fish with ugali with Raila had been made by the time they were still in the burial. But the truth of the matter here is Uhuru's trip to Nairobi was delayed by 4 hours. So that is something that happened. Guys, in the light of these two events, is there some correlation with what Nani is saying? That is to explanation, because I think people are asking me, Kevin, can you talk about this too? And of course, people are asking me to just do an explainer about it. So guys, let's look at, why do you think Livondo, if someone sent Livondo, what could be the plan? In my own assessment, there were 3 objectives. One, it was a very good plan. It was a plan, it could be a plan to kick out, someone had a plan to kick out William Ruto from Central Kenya. And in my own understanding, the stage was set. Remember, Moses Kuria said that he had requested Ndindi Nyoro and Kabando to attend the rally, because he had told them that it was not going to be a political rally. But William Ruto made a late call to these fellas and asked the Central Kenya MPs who were supporting UDA not to attend that rally. So one thing I believe is maybe Moses Kuria had known that even despite of Ruto's pronouncement, maybe there were some members of UDA who were still going to attend that meeting. But then, if you look at the reaction, people are crying. You know, in such an event that is held in Central, in Thika, that is, majority of those people are Kikuyus, and you see the elderly were also there. When you see people were screaming and you talk about the death, what only means is that you don't mean well for our son. And according to me, that message is home. I was following some political conversation in the night, some online guys, and whether it was true or false, the message is home and the damage is caused. There are people in central Kenya that now believe that, you know what, if Uhuru, whatever Uhuru is going to say, that he's not in good terms with his deputy, is going to be substantiated by what Livondo is saying. If today Uhuru says, I don't have a problem with William Ruto, then what Livondo said is not good. But then he said it in a meeting of Moses Kuria. So I know guys are telling me nisipanguze na macho and nisipanguze na bare hands. Now, secondly, this statement was meant to pull a trigger in waiting for what is happening at ICC. Now, in ICC, there are school of thought that Gisheru's trial is self-inflicted for political purpose. And in any case that case goes on and William Ruto's name is pulled and it has that emotional trigger, it will put government on the spot. It might put Ruto's competitors on the spot. That, you know what, I am being fixed by the state. This is part of what they've been doing for me. So my own understanding could be that there was an inner scheme to make sure that this trigger is pulled, and this is going to be laid somewhere. It will not be discussed. But in any case that ICC is going to wipe emotions and fix that maybe a narrative might come up that Uhuru is fixing his deputy, then this will be pulled as a counter narrative. Maybe Livondo was planted there by external forces to make sure that they set Moses Kuria and William Ruto on a war path. You know, Moses Kuria, if you look at his recent interview, he's sitting at the fence. Even though at that rally he was specific, he was really spinning some very chilling venom against Deputy President William Ruto. But this could be a wide strategy to make sure that, you know what, Moses Kuria and William Ruto not see eye to eye. Because there could be that William Ruto is blaming Moses Kuria for that. Because why did they allow him to talk? Why couldn't they even zima the mic? Because Kabano kept on telling him, but I think in that moment, the best thing was just to make sure that you put off the mic from the speakers, from the equipment side. So that could also be a game. Now, guys, I want to, this my last bit of this analysis is a bit unpopular, but the things I think I am proposing, I think should be done. One, the high-octane politics is here because of Uhuru Kenyatta's active involvement in 2022 political race. I think for us to avoid this public debacle, I think Uhuru Kenyatta should play a passive role in 2022 politics. So that even after yes, giving Central Kenya direction, no Sagana 3 is coming. After giving Central Kenya direction, I think it's time for him to sit back, play a passive role, so that the contentious Central Kenya vote do not come a make or break for the 2022 general election. And again, too, it's going to remove this race. There are two races in 2022. There is a race between Raila and Ruto, and there is a race between Ruto and Uhuru. Someone was telling me there is the third one, between Ruto and Ruto himself. So if they are Ruto and Uhuru, then Ruto and Raila, then the Ruto and Raila and Ruto and Uhuru will now get to an end. If Uhuru then perhaps withdraws a bit, so that high-octane politics, we don't go it dirty. But of course, we are in electioneering period. 3, someone was asking, I think there should be another handshake before the general election. Uhuru, Raila, Ruto. irrespective of their political affiliations. That is something I think that should happen. The handshake is going to quell the tension, because my question is, you say that in central Kenya, how is Rift Valley taking it? How are William Ruto supporters taking it? And then it will actually put the presidency, put the tension sana in the elections. And people might even think that, you know what, we're heading to general election and we can even see some violence here, so we need to move. And of course, this is not going to be a good thing. Lastly, I think let the law reign supreme on loose terms. People should just be held accountable. If whatever Livondo said is something that it can substantiate and should be substantiated, I think it should not be left hanging. If it is left hanging, then majority of people will take it that it was true. And of course, you never know what can happen. But I think Livondo should be held accountable so that he can explain, even though these are things that I'm told have been around us. So guys, lastly, I wanted to listen to William Ruto's reaction to this assassination claim. He spoke well. He was actually attending as church service, I think, in Tharaka Nithi or Meru.
Tafadhali, viongozi wote katika taifa letu la Kenya, tuwe waangalifu wakati tunaendesha kampeni zetu. Tunataka tuwe na kiasi na tusiseme mambo ambayo yanaweza kutugawanya kama Wakenya, na tuseme mambo ambayo yanaweza kuleta utata kati ya Wakenya. Tunataka kila mtu ajieleze, aeleze sera yake. Wananchi wa Kenya ni waadilifu na ni watu wenye akili, wataamua sera gani ni bora kuliko hiyo ingine. And so all of us as leaders, we must be careful on what we are saying so that we can keep the country united and we can focus on making sure that the next campaign is about issues, is about an agenda, and is about a program that the people of Kenya can buy into and the people of Kenya can vote for.